Well, g'day Spurs fans, Paul the Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. I hope you're all well today. So I'm looking forward to the game against Villa. Day after tomorrow is here, early morning, or 1 o'clock or something like that. I've just watched Angie's press conference and all seemed pretty reasonable to me. Nothing to see here. I thought the first question was quite an interesting one because it's something I picked up on, which was, after we got bundled out by Liverpool, he was more, how do I put it, less pissed off than he has been for other games that we've been lost. And I think for me, he kind of didn't quite say it this way, but for me, I think we actually did put an effort in, but we just played the wrong game plan. But if we had played the right game plan, the one that Ange wanted to, like Ange said, there was still no guarantee of winning. I mean, Liverpool were good. And it's funny that journalists and pundits and people out there, I don't know what they're expecting to suddenly change when we've got so many injured players. And I don't like using injured players as an excuse either, but we've got like 10 out or something ridiculous. And that hasn't changed, and now Richarlison's out. And if you think about, towards the end of the season last year, it was blatantly obvious to everyone that we needed a striker. We absolutely needed a striker. So we signed Dom Solanke. Good move, Tottenham. Doing really well. Scored some goals, got us playing a bit better up front. So is it any surprise that if Dom Solanke is injured, we're going to be playing a bit up front like we did towards the end of last season? I mean, you can't create an invisible player out of nothing. He's injured. And I'm just really quite, I don't know if frustrated is the right word, dismayed, I suppose, at the amount of stick that Ange is getting. He's trying to help us out. He's there. He's doing his best to help us out. Where other managers, well, one manager, Conte, decided bailing out was the easy option. And I think he's getting far too much stick. Far too much stick. I saw a clip on Talk Sport. Now, I remember the good old days of punditry. At best, the most annoying thing, and even this isn't that annoying, and I miss it. You'd get 5 minutes of this guy on the BBC on the match of the day, and Jimmy Hill will talk some old rubbish, but it's Jimmy Hill. Now you've got all these weirdo journalists. Like, I saw this one, I don't know what his name is, he's a big guy, he's got a goatee, I think he's a Man United fan, and he's saying, oh no, the sliding door moment was Poch. I'm fed up with hearing about Poch and not being backed. This is ancient history. What has this got to do with Ange Postecoglou and our players today? I hear this so much. It's old news. It's old news. Why keep regurgitating it? I know, Poch was there, blah, blah, blah. Cup final, blah, blah, 3 cup finals, blah, 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 didn't get backed. Fans turned, they forget this bit, the fans turned on him. So he gets the boot. Well, we can't undo that, can we? It's not Ange Postecoglou's fault that Daniel Levy and the fans at the time didn't back Poch. What's that got to do with Ange Postecoglou? It's just the amount of vehemence and hate. I mean, maybe hate's a strong word, but very extreme and very, very deeply personal criticism that Ange is getting, I think is totally, totally unwarranted. I don't like to see any manager get it, really, not from their own fans or the media, but this is a whole level of stage 5 weirdness. And the thing I'm seeing out from the people that know better about this sort of thing is that, well, let me give you an example. After we lost to Liverpool, I heard opinions saying Ange should be sacked because he didn't substitute Heung-min Son after 10 minutes. He should have done that, but he didn't do that, so Ange should be sacked. Then I saw another opinion saying Ange should be sacked because he should have played Sonny in the middle instead of Richarlison. So you've got all of these experts out there, all of these experts in the press, in the media, on YouTube. The consensus is Ange should be sacked for some reason. I don't get it. I'm always behind Ange. I'm always behind any Spurs manager, even AVB, even Jack Santini, and even Christian Gross. I was there in their corner. But somehow they've come to this consensus through all their decades of football experience. I'm sure they've all coached at high levels, played the game professionally. When you're that vehement and angry about something, I can understand it if you can back it up with a bit of wisdom and knowledge and experience yourself, but these people can't. Charlatans, absolute charlatans. So the consensus amongst a lot of these people is that Ange should be out. Ange should be out. All right, then what should we do then? What should we do? Well, first off, why should he be out? 50 different reasons. All of them are mutually exclusive with each other. There's no one reason. Sometimes he plays the youth too much. Sometimes he doesn't play them enough. He should play this, play that. No, he should play at that. They don't agree with each other. There is no... It's not, I guess, like perhaps a Gareth Southgate situation, where the prevailing opinion was kind of, we are playing a lot of safe football, it's too conservative, it's not working. There was kind of a consensus there. It was boring, safe football. A lot of people generally had the same idea. But with Ange Postecoglou, there is no one idea. Yeah, again, I'm hearing this word pragmatism. Pragmatism is a weird word. Pragmatic kind of means dealing with the real world. Dealing with the real world. It's used, this is the way the situation is, but be pragmatic about it. Pragmatic does not mean defensive football. The pragmatic, because defensive football, there is no guarantee that it will work. I mean, you saw the players, they took it upon themselves, perhaps against Liverpool, to try that. They didn't work. So saying pragmatic about defensive football is complete rubbish. It's complete rubbish. It's trying to give an air of intelligence to an opinion instead of just saying what you really mean. What you really mean is we should be more defensive. No, we should be pragmatic. It implies that I understand the real world, I understand reality, and I say that other people with a different worldview are living in some sort of fantasy land. I'm the pragmatic one. They are fantasists and idiots. That's what it is. When all you mean is play it around, park the bus a bit more. That's what you mean. Park the bus a bit more. Why don't you just say that? Boring bleeding football. So there's all these people, the consensus, well, not the consensus of everyone, but all of these people that don't want Ange in the job, that have been bitterly hateful, personal to him. Some of the tweets and memes and God knows what. It's all hackneyed, boring stuff. The fact that he's Australian. We've gone all over all that crap before. He's only managed in Scotland and blah, 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 blah. Me as a supporter, I want the guy to succeed. So I'm going to support him. That's the best shot we've got. Whereas some people think, because they're so wise and pragmatic, that nagging is the way to do it. Nag, nag, nag. Nag, nag, nag. Isn't that inspiring for people, especially artists like footballers, or artists like a football manager, because they're expressing themselves as human beings, something I think Ange does excellently well in press conferences. So they want him out, but there's no body of wisdom as to why, because they don't agree with each other, and there's no body of wisdom as who they would want to take his place. All they have is a vacuum in their hearts and souls for wanting him to succeed. And I don't get it, man. I would rather have this guy talking a little bit of rubbish 5 minutes at the end of match of the day than what I'm seeing at the moment. That's the world we live in. The constant news cycle of arse, high turnover, always got to be current, always got to grab the views. I just want to enjoy the football, and I continue to wish Ange and the players' success, and things ain't going to change until we get some players back. Why would it? We are going to have the odd good result, but as far as this thing that we're looking for, which is consistency, particularly in the Football League, I can't really see that happening until we've got a decent, full, healthy squad. You just can't do it. We're relying on the same players too much. They'll be able to do it sometimes, hopefully more often than not, but who knows? But we just can't conjure up stamina and form and banish away fatigue with some sort of magic wand. It can't do it. So we are going to be like this. And I'm just going to keep on enjoying the football as much as I can. And we've got a big game against Villa tomorrow. And as always, I'm never going to say that we're going to lose. Just like Ange. He's still having that comment shoved in his face about winning in his second year. Have people in the world gone soft? Isn't that what you want to hear a manager say? We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win. Now it's seen as, he said he's going to win. If he don't win, we're going to come back and beat him with a soggy sausage. It's bullshit. Of course you want to. I don't care if you're West Bromwich Albion. You want your manager to say you're going to win everything, don't you? Isn't that sport? Isn't that football? Isn't that part of it? Getting buoyed up? No, not anymore. Not in 2025. Man alive, it's 25. We've got to be pragmatic, whatever the fuck that means, according to some people's worldview. Bugger all that. I'm in it for the romance, the passion, and I'll always love the team and the players that play for it and the manager that runs it. So peace and love, man, and come on you Spurs.